Hello and welcome to BlueTube, where we talk all things blue. Today we reflect on yesterday's loss against Fiorentina. If you guys don't know, it says in the title of the video, so you probably do know, but we lost 1-0 to Fiorentina in our final preseason game. So today I'm just going to be talking about my thoughts on how we played, and just how we look as a squad, as a team going into the Premier League, because the league starts in 3 days, guys. Or 3 days? 1, 2... Well, including today, 3 days. So maybe 2 days by the time this video is uploaded. I don't know. But, guys, it's disappointing. Let's just not even deny it, right? Chelsea's preseason, on the whole, has just been disappointing. We've won a total of 0 games. I know we did draw 2 and win on penalty shootouts, but I'm going to count those as draws. So we drew twice against pretty good opponents, to be fair. But also, we lost against Fiorentina, against Arsenal, and against New York Red Bulls in our preseason opener. So, you know what? This game, firstly, let's just talk about how the game went, right? The lineup, the starting 11 was really interesting to see. I think Mourinho, he's aware of the fact that, the season starts in 3 days, so he didn't want to play any of his, usual starters in the starting 11 because fitness and all of that stuff, and they need to be ready for Swansea. And actually, before I say anything, I should talk about Diego Costa first. Diego Costa last week, about a week today, I think, a week ago today against Barcelona, he had to come off the pitch because he felt something in his thigh. And then Mourinho said that he'd be fine to play against Arsenal, but then he said he suffered another training, or he wasn't feeling well in training. And in the Fiorentina game, he wasn't in the squad as well. And Mourinho has said post-match that he doesn't know if Costa's going to be fit or not for Swansea, which I wouldn't say it's worrying, but it's just not the greatest thing to hear, because before Mourinho said, I'm confident he's going to play, it was just a feeling, he's going to get a full recovery, he'll be ready to go. But now he's saying, we're not sure, we'll see when the time comes. So it looks a bit uncertain. I don't think Costa will be able to play against Swansea, just judging by his words, but who knows? Maybe this is part of his mind games, which I'm pretty sure it's not. But where am I going with this? Back to the game. So our starting 11 didn't have Costa. Instead, we had Falcao, who I'll talk about, who, in my opinion, was pretty good. But I've heard some other opinions as well, so I'll talk about that later. And this is the really interesting thing, because, Baba Rahman isn't here yet, and we want to save Azpilicueta's fitness and his energy for our season opener against, who are we against? Against Swansea. We actually played Bertrand Traore as left back. Yeah, just take it in. So we played Bertrand Traore at left back, Zuma Terry center back, and Ivanovic right back. And then in the midfield, of course, we started with... Who did we start with? Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who had a brilliant chance to score, but anyway, I'll get to that. And alongside Jonathan Mikel. And our offensive 3 midfielders were Victor Moses, who, again, was very, very good. And he might have an injury, but I'll talk more about that later. And Oscar and Cuadrado, and of course Falcao, as I've already said. And in goalkeeper, Begovic started ahead of Courtois. And you know what, let's just start from Begovic. Let's just work our way up to see how they played. Well, of course, we did lose, we did concede in the 34th minute or something. But Begovic, for that goal, let me just talk you through it if you guys haven't watched it. And actually, I'd urge you right now to just go on YouTube, search Chelsea-Fiorentina 1-0, all goals and highlights, and then hopefully you guys can get a feel for what I'm talking about. So what happened was, there was a shot from Begovic's right-hand side, and Begovic got down low really well. It was great reflexes, and he did get the save on. It was a good block. If he didn't block it, it would have surely been a goal. But he couldn't parry it out to the side, because all he could do is, because the ball came in so quickly, he could just get something on it, but it just bounced forward, and it was an easy tap in from there. So to be honest, I don't think Begovic did badly. I did read an article on the Daily Mail or some media outlet, and they were saying Falcao and Begovic were very disappointing that game. I completely disagree. I think Begovic, he did very, very well. He did make some good saves. There was just one moment in the second half where he went to catch the ball. The ball was just bouncing back. There was no pressure at all from any attackers. And Begovic went to go catch it, and then he just slipped or something, and it looked really comedic. I'm hoping that was just a slip. I think it was just an innocent slip. I don't think you can take anything away from Begovic for that. It's only preseason. Remember that. So I think it's very unfair to say that Begovic performed badly. Moving on to our defense, and I'll just talk about Bertrand Traoré right now. What was really interesting to see was, even though his official position was a left mid, he actually did kind of play as a second left wing. So in essence, we kind of had 3 defenders, 6 midfielders, and a striker. So it was really interesting to see Bertrand Traoré and Moses' interplay and how they linked with each other and their overlapping runs and just the chemistry, and they looked good. Bertrand Traoré, yet again another impressive game for him. Defensively, he did do his job as well. I remember he made this one tackle, and I just remember him making tackles, basically. So he did do his job defensively. Going forward, as I've said, he linked up really well with Moses, in my opinion. And it was just great to see him play. And of course, yeah, it was great to see him play. Zuma and Terry, I think they were good. Zuma played the whole game, I think. Terry got subbed off after 45 minutes to put Gary Cahill on, or after 60 minutes. I think all in all, they did well. Our defense didn't look as fragile as they did throughout so far this preseason. I think I'll talk about this a lot more later, but what's shifted is, in the beginning, it was Chelsea, the beginning of this preseason, it was just Chelsea's defense being terrible, so we were conceding. But now, this game, and Arsenal's game as well, I feel like it's more of a situation where our attack going forward isn't good enough, and just our team as a whole isn't pushing and pressing players enough. So I don't think, in the beginning, our defense was bad. Let's just admit that. But now, I don't think it's our defense. It's just our whole group collectively aren't pressing, as well as we have done last season, and it's sad to see. But our defense, they were pretty good. Ivanovic, I feel like he finally came alive. The other games, I was, to be honest, quite disappointed with his performance. But this game, because the other games he did do his job as a defender, but going forward, he wasn't nearly the player that he was last season. But today, yesterday, or whenever you're watching this, against Fiorentina, he did go forward. He did play. It looked like Ivanovic, the old striker Ivanovic, kind of came back, the winger Ivanovic, and that's the Ivanovic that I love to see. And that's what's, in my opinion, really unique and differentiates him as a player, compared to Azpilicueta. So I really do value that, and it was great to see that happening. Let's go to the midfield. Mikel and Loftus-Cheek. As I said, Loftus-Cheek, he had a great chance. He did a nice 1-2 with Moses, ran down the sides, a nice little, not a skill, but he just did this little cutback to fool the defender, and he had the shot on, but another defender just jumped in last second, got the block on. It would have been a great goal, a fantastic goal for Loftus-Cheek. And that was when the game was 0-0. So if we did get that first goal, maybe the game could have been different. But we didn't. Other than that, Loftus-Cheek, he didn't do bad. I can't think of anything else that he did particularly well. I don't think I can say he was phenomenal that game. But I don't think I can also. I also don't think that I can say he was terrible. He was just, average for the. No, actually, he was a bit above average for the first 30 minutes or so. Because Chelsea as a whole, we were really, really good the first 30 minutes of the game. But I'll get more to that later. Mikel, our other defender, he looked better than Arsenal. He looked better. I still think Chelsea need another midfielder. I know we have Fabregas and Matic, but if one of them gets injured, or if you want to play Fabregas as the attacking midfielder, like Mourinho sometimes likes to do, we have to put in Mikel or Ramirez, and I've made my feelings clear about them. Especially Ramirez. I don't think he's good enough. Actually, did Ramirez play this game? Yeah, he came on as a sub, but Mikel, he did to be fair, he didn't do that bad this game. I'll just leave it at that. Going forward, left mid, Moses, once again. I feel like this preseason, Moses, without a doubt, has been our best player. Without a doubt. You know, there's players like Eden Hazard in this team, and I'm saying Moses has been our best player. That's how good he's been. And to be fair, Eden Hazard has been a bit disappointing, I'll say. But I don't blame him, because it's just collectively as a team we haven't been performing well. Of course, he did score that sublime goal against Barcelona, but I'm getting carried away. Back to Moses. He was well, and he actually, in the second half, he got subbed off after getting a knock to his leg. He was on the floor, and he did walk. And Mourinho did say post-match, Moses is fine, so there isn't any worries there, I don't think. But, you know, he did get a knock, and he did get subbed off for that, if you guys didn't watch the game. Central midfield, a central attacking midfield, Oscar. Oscar was, once again, he was great. He was creative, he was running around everywhere, at least for the first 30 minutes. The first 30 minutes, Chelsea were phenomenal, and I thought we were just going to cruise past Fiorentina. I genuinely did think that. I thought we were just going to beat them 4-5-0. That wasn't the case. But in that first, you know, glorious 30 minutes, Oscar was an instrumental part of it, and I do really hope Mourinho plays him in big games, because Mourinho does have a tendency to play players like Fabregas instead of Oscar, just for that, you know, greater defensive assurance. You know, for instance, against Arsenal in the Community Shield, he didn't start Oscar, which I was disappointed about. But this game he did play well, and I really do hope he plays, you know, a big role in this next season. And our right wing, Cuadrado. Let's just say he picked off where he left off. He wasn't particularly good. He gave away possession quite a lot. He did. I don't know. As I said, he picked off where he left off. He played similarly to how he played for Chelsea, you know, before. I mean, how he played for Chelsea last season. So take what you will from that. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And getting to Falcao, some praise. Another Colombian in our team. I think Falcao was really, really good this game. He was being constantly tackled by defenders, but he was really, really strong. He showed a bit of skill as well. But he was just really good in general. I thought he was really, really good. And if we did get some deliveries in, if he did get some quality crosses in, I do think he could have, you know, gotten a goal today. It's a shame that Chelsea as a team didn't play very well. But Falcao, I think he was one of the players that can come out with his head held high and say, I played a good game. There was one header, which maybe he could have done better with the header. Now, basically a cross came in, and he was just outside the 6-yard box, and he kind of just fumbled the header, and the goal was here, and he just headed it the other way, kind of. But just in general, he was great, and I do have confidence in him. And yeah, I do think he's going to do very, very well. Now let's just talk about the whole game. I know there were subs in the second half, but I think if I keep going like this video is going to go on forever. So let me just talk about the game as a whole and how we played. As I said, the first 30 minutes, we were scintillating. We were back to our best. I thought, you know, this is going to be our game. The game, you know, where we rebound after our loss against Arsenal. We just bury that and just destroy this team. And we played really, really well. But the problem with Chelsea is even against Arsenal, the 30 or 40 minutes, we were really, really good. Against Barcelona, the first 30 minutes, we were really, really good. But we struggle to make chances when we play well, when we have possession. And by the way, the whole match as a whole, Chelsea did have 53% possession. So that kind of tells you, you know, how much of the ball we had. But we just didn't make enough chances. We had 3 shots on target the whole game. That's just not good enough. And I feel like that's been a persistent problem for Chelsea this whole preseason. You know, we just don't, what's the word? We don't take advantage of when we have possession, of when you see teams like Arsenal. I'm just quoting teams that we've played against this preseason. Arsenal, when they get the ball, they look like they're going to score, or at least in that game they did. Whenever they got the ball, they were coming at our defense, they were coming into our box, they were taking shots, and they did get the goal. Again, in Barcelona, they looked like they're going to score. They were passing it around quickly, that's important. Chelsea, we look really sluggish. And I think that's in part because of players like Mikel, Ramirez, maybe Matic to a certain extent. They can't pass the ball around as quickly as I'd like, as we need to be able to win the league, I think. So maybe that's an area for, in fact, that's definitely an area for improvement. But yeah, we just need to make chances, and we seem to be struggling. And I really do hope it's just a match fitness thing. And when players like Hazard, Willian, Oscar, now Oscar has been good to be fair, like players like Hazard or Fabregas or Willian get back to their best, get back to their, full fitness, we will be, scoring goals left, right, and center, creating chances, getting shots on target, and I really do hope Diego Costa comes back in. And this brings me to another point. Gus Poyet, a former Chelsea player and current Sunderland manager, has even come out and said Chelsea are too reliant on Diego Costa, and I cannot agree with him more. And I've said this before, and so I won't, linger too long on this. But players like, if Costa is injured, we have Loic Remy and Falcao, and you don't get to a Champions League semi-final with Loic Remy and Falcao. You look at Real Madrid, Barcelona, or Bayern Munich, the quality that they have in their depth is just, we can't match that. Chelsea, we just don't have that as a squad right now. So maybe we need reinforcements. I do think we need reinforcements in terms of midfield and striker. And Mourinho, if you're watching this, please. But Mourinho seems to have faith. Post-game, he did say it was a great training session, and if you guys don't know, he's been treating this whole preseason. In fact, he just treats preseason in general as a training session. So, he doesn't put too much into it, but he says the real game starts this Saturday against Swansea. So we'll see how we play against Swansea, and then Mourinho won't have any excuses then. Yeah, disappointing in general. And then when Fiorentina did, after the first 30 minutes, Fiorentina just dominated. They were getting all the chances. They were the dominant side. They had the initiative. And in the last 30 minutes of the game, so from the 60th minute onwards, when Chelsea made all those subs, when we put Fabregas, Hazard, Willian, all those players onto the pitch, we did look a lot stronger. But the same problem, we couldn't get shots on target. So I think that's what it comes down to. And when we did have chances, we didn't have someone who can finish them. Like Loic Remy, he was presented with a half-decent chance, shoots it wide. If it was Costa, maybe he can at least hit the target and get the goalkeeper moving, I just feel like the Fiorentina goalkeeper didn't really have a lot to do, and that's disappointing. And out of our 3 shots on targets, I'm pretty sure 2 of them were headers from Gary Cahill. Or one from Ivanovic and one from, actually both from Gary Cahill, I think. So that just kind of tells you, 2 were headers from set pieces out of our 3 shots on target. That just tells you all you need to know. That just summarizes everything perfectly. So I think that just kind of sums up the video. I don't know how long this has been. Hopefully it's not too long. I feel like my videos have been getting a bit too long, so I'm trying to shorten them down. But I just have so much to say. But just in general, we were disappointing once again. Let's not deny that. But we're gonna go into the actual season this Saturday. Mourinho's not gonna have any excuses, and hopefully, we do get back to winning ways, because we haven't won a game since our game against Sydney. Actually, did we even beat? Yeah, we beat Sydney. And since our game against Sydney and our postseason tour back in June 6th, we haven't won a game since then. And that's just disappointing. And I feel like that's kind of reflecting on the whole squad. I feel like the players, they just don't look as motivated, as energetic, as enthusiastic as they did before. But hopefully, we can forget that, go into the season with our heads held high, and just play the football that we know we can play, and get the win that we know we can get. Today there's going to be no transfer talk, because I am busy, but you will have this to watch, so hopefully this is enough. Tomorrow I'll be back with another transfer talk, and the day after tomorrow on Friday, no, actually tomorrow is Friday, damn, tomorrow I will make a transfer talk, but I'm also going to make a special video just giving my predictions on the top 4 of the Premier League, or maybe the top 6 even, and giving the bottom 3 and maybe some of my Champions League predictions, my La Liga and Bundesliga, Serie A predictions. Yeah, it's gonna be great fun, and the season does get going this Saturday. I'm really looking forward to it. I do hope Chelsea plays well. And regarding the top 4 predictions thing, it would be awesome if you guys can, leave a comment down below on just, who you think the Premier League top 4 is gonna be. And then if you guys do comment, I can talk about it in tomorrow's video, and I can say, so and so said this. I think he's right in saying this, but maybe I think he could have, I think that. No, he's wrong in saying this, and it'll be fun to have a debate, kind of interaction thing. I know my videos haven't been getting a lot of comments. There was one comment on my Chelsea-Arsenal match review, so thank you to that guy. I forgot his username. I would give a shout out, but I forgot your name. I'm sorry, but I love you, bro, for leaving a comment. Yes, just please, feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to interact. I really wanna, get interacting. That's one of the main reasons that I made this channel in the first place, to talk about football with people that like football, that love football, just like I do. Because I feel like the internet in general is a terrible place to talk about football. Because if you're a Chelsea fan on YouTube and you say, Mourinho's the best manager in the world, instantly you just get bombarded with hate. And I just wanted to make a good kind of community in terms of, us, our group, and kind of a safe place to have interesting football discussions. So please feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you do, I can guarantee you, if you put a comment down there before I film my video tomorrow, you will get featured in that video. So, please leave a comment. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you hated the video, leave a dislike. Hopefully you didn't hate the video. But that's about it, and I'll be back with another video for you tomorrow. And until then, stay blue.